I'ma need you all to jump. Tell a hater we do what we want. I just keep on running like I'm Gump. Back up in this homie, get it bucked. Yo, I'ma need you all to jump. Tell a hater we do what we want.
Welcome to Unsung Talent. I'm Chrissy Morales, showcasing today's underground talent of all ages. I'm here with Jersey's very own Stevie Franks. Stevie, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I am so honored to have you here today. You've been making big moves in the music industry. Tell me how you got started and a little bit about yourself.
Music was always like in my family, so it was just natural that I was going to go into it. My grandfather was a jazz and blues player. My mother was an aspiring singer. And then, my family was always into, like, my dad used to play like old jazz and soul records and stuff like that. And growing up where I grew up, hip hop was just always like something that was implemented into the community. So it was just going to happen one way or another. So there was no running away from it. So after a while, I just started. I started off writing poetry, and poetry turned. I started freestyling and stuff with like my friends and stuff like that. And then once after the freestyling, then I started actually really writing it. I think I wrote my first rap when I was like maybe 11.
Okay.
And then I couldn't remember nothing. I couldn't remember my rhymes for nothing. Right? I couldn't remember nothing.
So what, you just spit your bars by looking at?
No, I wouldn't do none of that. I would rap somebody else's and then say I did it. And hopefully nobody ever heard it.
See, now that's shady. Now, what would you say to people doing that now? I guess
I would never tell nobody to do that, but I was 11, like, you know what I'm saying? I would never tell nobody to do no stuff like that, but I would say somebody else's rap, and then hopefully nobody never heard of it. You know what I mean? I think the first time I did it, I was at a friend's house, and they was like, "Yo, Steve, rap, say something." So I spit the rap, and they said, "Oh, that's dope." And I was thinking to myself, "I hope they don't."
Did you tell them like, yeah, I wrote that, that's my original track?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Okay.
I just let it marinate. I didn't say nothing. I didn't tell them that it wasn't mine and nothing like that. I just let it be.
Now, how did your parents feel about you going into hip hop? Because like jazz is like, I guess it could kind of be like people can do jazz and hip hop, but
my mom, she was into hip hop. You know what I mean? So she wasn't like foreign to me. I remember when she first got me my first album, my first project, I told her, I think I asked for it for Christmas or something. And when I told her what it was, she got it, didn't question it or nothing. I was outside, I was playing basketball, and I had the boombox playing. And she heard the lyrics from the window. She said, "Boy, what the..." She said,
"Oh no!"
No, and then it was
were they like, clean lyrics or were they like raunchy?
No, it was.
It was mom's worst nightmare, basically.
I mean, yeah. And then she came out. She's like, she took the album from me. And I think this is anybody's worst nightmare. She told me that this is no disrespect to him, but she told me she was gonna get me a Will Smith album. And I was like, I know my friends are gonna laugh at me if I ever got that. So I was like, oh man. But
I thought Will Smith was like popping.
He was, but not where I was at. They'd laughed at me like, bro, you listen to Will Smith, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was like an L. So like, but after a while, she let me just keep it.
And how did you transition? Okay, so you started at 11 years old. When did you start taking music seriously?
I want to say maybe about when I was like 16. I formed a group with me and like 3-4 other people. We recorded, like, we didn't really have like a real, I want to say, solid studio, so we got like our own equipment and stuff like that. This is back, we had a tape deck. But it wasn't like nobody was recording at tape decks at that time. Everything was just all digital. That was all we had. So we just were waiting for somebody to convert it and go into a studio. We actually really got into a studio and we recorded, I want to say, 4 projects. Our first project we ever did, we were supposed to get like a management deal with somebody. They ended up taking our music, running off. We never heard from them again.
Oh, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that kind of dispirited us at that time, and I think that it made us lose faith in like the music thing, and I think after that we broke up and everybody went their own separate ways and stuff. But yeah, as far as like musically, like industry wise, seriously, on a serious note, after I went from my hiatus, I was like off of it for about, I want to say maybe about 8 years, and then I got back and started really going into it seriously. So I've been going like seriously hard for like the past 7 years now.
Now, what's your most recent project that you've been working on?
Morals of a Money 2.
Okay.
It's part 2 to a project that I released back in 2015. It's basically talking about like all the like the stuff that's going on right now, the current events, everything from politics, racism, even things with like the coronavirus. I even have a song on there that's speaking to women, men, and mainly women, but anybody can relate to it if you've been taken advantage of, meaning like rape. The song is called Under, basically dealing with letting people know that I understand. I've never been totally raped myself, but I know women who have been taken advantage of and been hurt. I feel like nobody has ever made a song speaking out for them, you know what I mean? So I felt as though they needed to get heard and their voice needed to get heard.
Absolutely, and that's a strong topic right there. You know, I feel like you can get a lot of people to relate. And probably, you said you wrote poetry. That's how you started. Did that influence that? Like, influence your music in any way?
Yeah. But I think poetry started off as that. I mean, poetry and rap are like cousins anyway. You know what I mean? And there's really no difference except for rhythm that's involved, and you're over a beat. So, and really no difference. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like anytime I ever said something, I was always had to have a message in it. I can't just be talking just for no reason. You know what I mean? I used to just rap that type of stuff when I was younger. But now you grown, like, you know what I mean, like,
you try to put lyricism, I guess,
right,
into
exactly. I mean, you could be a lyricist and not be saying nothing, as long as the bar format is put together and it make rhymes and it makes sense in a way. That's still considered lyricism. But I feel like, when you're saying bars and words that mean something, it just hits the soul more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really what I like to do. I like people to tell me they made a record. I feel like that changed their life.
So is that your goal? What is your goal? Like, where do you see yourself in the future?
My goal was always been to bring myself to the highest level of an independent artist can take themselves to. And also my goal is to not only for myself, but to help other people too that are on that path. And, because this industry is cold, man. And it's designed for everybody else to eat but the artists. You know what I mean? And without us, there would be no industry. Without us making the music, there wouldn't be none of this. But everybody is trying to benefit off of us, and it's very little benefit for the artist unless you sign us a major deal or you had some type of huge backing. But a person that doesn't really have much, he started from the bottom up. Only thing he got is a little small piece of studio equipment and a mic.
Right.
It ain't. It's like you don't have a huge backing. What you going to do?
Right.
You know
I mean, and you hear about rappers like Logic and Russ, who were underground, and now they blew up, and they're making like a lot of profit of their own. Is that the way that you encourage? Like, is that where you see people going, and you encourage people to go, like, be your own independent artist?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like everything comes with knowledge. You just have to do your homework, and you have to be persistent about it. Then the thing about being independent is you got to be willing to put in the work. If you're not willing to work, then I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. If that's what you want to do and go to the majors, then that's cool. That's great. I'm not saying that I would never, as long as the money is right and the deal's on the table to the point where I feel like I can benefit from it. But if I feel like in overall it's a disbenefit, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? That's just intelligence of any situation that you're involved in.
Absolutely. And you, Stevie, you have a clothing line. You have your music, so you put in a lot out there. How, for people out there who are starting to rap and do and really grind at it, what are some advice that you can tell them?
If you're just starting out, I would say one of the biggest things that I think a lot of artists don't have or don't think that they need to have because they're talented is a budget. You gotta have a budget, man, because regardless of what you're doing, a budget for producers, a budget for studio time, a budget for marketing, a budget for videos, even for your merch, you gotta have a budget for all that stuff. And you have to make this, it has to make sense, and you have to have a plan. I don't care how big or small that plan is. You have to tell yourself, I wanna make this much amount of money by this certain period of time. You know what I mean? I wanna have this much amount of fan base in this period of time.
Right.
Make the goals big, but don't make it to the point where it's just like unimaginable, that doesn't make sense to you. Not saying that you shouldn't shoot for the highest, but make it make sense for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you know in your mind and you feel like something is attainable, then you can, you know, right? You get it. You feel like I can take that.
Absolutely. And today you're going to be performing for us. We're so excited. Tell me about your song.
The song is it's called Killing. It's off of my new single off my new project, Morals of Money 2. It's out right now, available on all platforms. You know what I mean? For anybody that is interested in purchasing or streaming the project. So yeah.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Stevie Franks the artist. You can find me on Facebook on my fan page, Stevie Franks Music with a K. You can find me on Snapchat, Stevie Franks 100. If you want to just have everything direct as far as like all my videos, my shows, any new projects that I may be coming out with, you can go on my website direct at therealsteviefranks.com.
All right, awesome. Well, we're ready to see you perform. You ready?
Absolutely.
Put your hands together for Stevie Franks.
What up, what up? This is Stevie Franks. You can follow me on Instagram, the Stevie Franks the artist, Facebook, Stevie Franks Music. Also, for anything from shows, album releases, and any type of update, you could go on my website, therealsteviefranks.com. And this right here, I'm about to perform my single off my new project, Morals of Money 2. This single is called Killing, produced by my man Solo Fadolo. Check it out. Yeah, no pun intended. Check. Yo, I'm a supernova in the world's mind, while I'm steady swimming in your girl's mind. An ex-crack pusher with a stack cushion, trying to make $1 million out of crumbs. Know these bar shells, how I ex-lax push them. Must I remind you it's $1 million in the drum. No, I got a style, taking women out of pain. He should've walked a long mile as I stood up at the Grammys. Never asked for much, just for money in my lazy chair. I attack massive, just so I can take it there. You just be relaxing, why you'll never make it there. You too busy sitting letting grown men braid your hair. Check it. Why you busy worried about entanglements? I got some real world issues that I tangle with. We need to build more, so we feel more. Still raw like I ain't got a Jimmy on. Trying to put the city on, not in ways that you could break us. Shape us, talk about ways that you should thank us. Put me in position so you will listen. While I'm trying to slit the dough, that's the real mission. A meal ticket in a way it make you feel different. I'm still tripping, how I'm watching how the pills flipping. I'm never mad at Trump cause he showed the people. You know he evil, while the others hide and so deceitful. They're saying that they feel us like they know the people. Trying to put us in the ball so they throw the people. To infinity, lacing them with the imagery. Mind over matter and placing you in the symmetry. Got the Midas touch and they be draining you mentally in the middle of a plague and got you working essentially. Hard to read between the lines while you boxing out. How you think Floyd feels, but that boy's ill. Might talk a lot less, but it's more still. Daily on a mission every day to get more skill. Why intelligence surrounded, but still grounded. Every day I'm getting better, but I'm ill-founded. You can't get away from evil while you still around it. I know the fire's in your heart, but the tears drown it. Shout out to Unsung Talent. Christina Morales, thank you for having me. Shout out Solo Fadolo. Go get that new project, Morals of Money 2, you heard? One. Shout out to Christina Morales and Unsung Talent. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Go cop my new project, Morals of a Money 2, produced entirely by Solo Fidolo. Shout out for everybody that's been supporting me. For all updates on new projects and everything, go check out my website, therealsteviefranks.com. You heard? Peace.
Woo! And shout out to you, Stevie Franks. Come back in here. Shout out to you for being here and just giving it your all, representing Jersey here on Unsung Talent. Until next time, guys.